And we have a Vav. There's the Vav. And then we have the 5 sources of the 5 seeds inside. You have to cut the up open to do that. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. We're missing a number of students today. I knew it would happen sooner or later. We lasted until now with a full attendance every day so far. Maybe more will come along as we proceed. Okay. We're getting there. I almost know all of you. Valeria is not here yet. Okay. Hani is not here. Alex. Okay, today is Wednesday. Alex. Oh. Okay. Naomi. Yes, Naomi. Thank you for the last cup of milk. Shirley. Shirley. Izzy. Good morning. Libby. Ubasari. My heart and my flesh cries out to Hashem. Mirananu rejoices to praise Him. Rivka. One of the mothers of Israel, Rivka. From Rivka, we learned that girls 3 years old should light a Shabbos candle. Vegasar, is Vegasar here? Yes. Vegasar, good morning. You moved. Trying to fool me. Raquel doesn't come. Either she didn't come in the first place or she went directly to Rabbi Majeski and did not pass go. Abi. Good morning, Abi.
Good morning.
Yeshiva Cation. A graduate of Yeshiva Cation. Mayan, was Mayan here? Yes. Good morning, Mayan. Shoshan in the corner. And Moriah, you're here. Yes. Who do we have here? Good morning. Welcome. Who are you?
Tova.
What?
Tova Zubel.
Tova? Can I write down your name? Are you here for a day, a week, a month? Trying it out? Okay. We're happy to have you. What's your last name, Tova?
Zubel.
Z-I-V. Z-I-V. V like in Victor? B as in Bracha. Z-I-V-E-L. Zibel. Okay. Tova, that's a good name. That's a good name. Can't do better than that. Okay, Valeria. All right. We start with the Elul. Starting with Tehillim. Tova, do you have a Tehillim sheet there?
Yeah.
Chapter 20, we say a few verses from the Psalms of King David to invoke blessing and protection for our fellow Jews, men and women and children in the Holy Land and wherever they may be. Lam Natsaya Mizmel Adove Yancha Adonai Dim Tzari Yisagev Hashem Elohei Yanke Yishach Ezoham Mekaidesh. We ask Hashem to send help from His holy chamber in the Beis Hamikdash. Umitziyan Yisadeka. That's obviously there's no Beis Hamikdash now. There's a Beis Hamikdash in the sky, and then there's an extraordinary sikh from the Rebbe who argues that there is a Beis Hamikdash hidden underground with everything in it. It was hidden away 40 years before the destruction of the first temple. And in there you have the luchos and the staff of Aaron and the the jar with the mon in it. And that's how they were able to continue using the Beis Hamikdash, even though, and the menorah, even though they were no longer there in the room called the Kodesh. Okay, verse 4. Yizker kol minchaisecha. Hashem should remember all your offerings. Vayilasecha. Yadashna selo, they should be accepted graciously. V'yeshu asa secha. Then, when I skipped some words here. And he should give us the strength to fulfill all our good resolutions. Then we will rejoice in your salvation. Hashem B'Shem Eloheinu Nidga, we will raise the banner of God on high. Yamole Adonai Kol Mishalesecha, and Hashem will fulfill all your heart's requests. Ata Yodaiti, now I know, says King David, Ki Heshia Adonai Mashiach, that Hashem saves, will save, has saved, and will continue to save his anointed one, his Mashiach, the leader of the Jewish people, the king of the Jewish people, the prophet of the Jewish people, in every generation. Ata Yodaiti, Yanehu Mishmei Koche will answer him from his holy chamber. Biguvures with might, Yesha salvation, Yamine from his right hand. Ela v'recha ve'ela v'susim, they come after us with chariots and with cavalry. Anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu nazker, we come with the name of God on our lips. Hema karu v'nafalu, they stumbled and fell. V'anachnu, and we, after 3,500 years, kamnu v'nisei, that we are still standing strong. In the belief of our fathers, we learned yesterday about the entering into the covenant, that Hashem made an eternal covenant with Abraham and his family, Yitzchak and Yaakov, and was ratified at Mount Sinai when we all undertook to be the servants of Hashem. Now, this is very relevant now because this is what we're doing. This is what Rosh Hashanah and Elul and Rosh Hashanah is all about. When we blow shofar, we're doing two things. Number one, we are like children crying for help, appealing to be admitted, accepted into the kingdom of Hashem as servants of Hashem. That he should accept us with all our shortcomings. And at the same time, it's like the trumpets of jubilation that accompany the coronation as Hashem becomes our king. So in all these three times, Abraham, Mount Sinai, and before, like we spoke yesterday, before the Jews entered the land of Israel, Moshe entered them all into a third covenant, an eternal covenant with Hashem, that we will be his people and he will be our God. We will never take another God. That was our promise. And he will never exchange us, even if we do fall for the devices of the Yetzer Hara, and we do worship something other than him. So it won't lead to any good in our life, but he will never forsake us. He will never exchange us for another people, and we will never exchange us for another God. And that's the story of our generation. The resurrection of our great generation after the Holocaust is returning all the neshamas that have been beaten into submission through the exile and through the vicissitudes of our history, and drifted away from the observance of our forefathers. And they're coming back. That's what we're all doing here. That's what we're all doing here. Okay. Adonai Hashem Melech Yaneinu V'Yim Kareinu. Translated, Hashem, please deliver us. You are our king. You should answer us. We know, we have confidence you will answer us on the day that we call. Picking up on a point that we left in the discussion yesterday, what was accomplished? We established the fact several times that before the Torah was given, holy people in every generation kept the Torah. We saw Noach knew the difference between kosher and non-kosher animals. Lloyd, Abraham's brother-in-law, kept Pesach. We find him in the Torah. It says explicitly he was baking matzahs. And we know that that was Pesach time. Oral tradition tells us that that's when Yitzchak was born, on Pesach. So if they kept the Torah before it was given, we said that Yaakov, when he was whittling, tending the sheep, as a what do you call it? A person who raises sheep, a breeder of sheep. So he had deals with his conniving, dishonest uncle, Lavan, and they agreed, like all the dark sheep are going to go to you, Lavan, or maybe all the dark sheep will come to. It's very confusing. Well, the terms of their business are very confusing because Lavan changed them. Whenever he saw Yaakov was getting ahead, he would change the agreement. Either brown or stripes, or brown with stripes, or white without white with brown stripes. 100 times he changed they separated all the sheep, and Yaakov got all the ones that wouldn't be qualified, and then he requalified them. He breeded from these sheep that had no hope of being included in his part of the bargain, and he breeded from them sheep, massive herds of sheep. I mean, he did it for many years. He was working for Lavan for 20 years. And he came back very, very rich, wealthy person. With all the, how did he make all the sheep come out the way he wanted? By whittling sticks, by taking off the bark and whittling patterns on the sticks and placing them in the troughs when the sheep would feed, would drink. And this would cause them, it's very important when a woman is expecting a child, it's very important what she looks at and what she sees. She should try to look at kosher things and holy things and not look at things that are not holy and not watch X-rated movies on the video flips and things like that. She should concentrate on holiness to imbue the child that she's carrying with holy characteristics. And we learn this also from the sheep, that by putting these patterns in front of their eyes, they had sheep that came out looking the way he wanted them to. Now, also, before we go, now, the point I wanted to bring out from this yesterday, and I didn't put nail the hammer in, put nail in the hammer in the nail. I didn't hammer in the nail, which is that what was accomplished. Remember, I asked the question yesterday, what was accomplished by giving the Torah at Mount Sinai if the Jewish people, the ancestors of our ancestors, kept it anyway? Yaakov kept the Torah. Yitzchak sent his son out, Esau, to get him meat. He was a hunter. Get me some, venison and cook it up the way I like it. I like it so much, so I will bless you. He wanted him to get kosher meat. Even Esau knew kosher meat. And it says that Esau used to fool his father by asking him questions in halacha. There were difficult questions, tricky questions, and that made his father Yitzchak think that he was really a pious, God-fearing person, which he was fooling his father. He wasn't. Couldn't wait for his father to die so that he could kill his twin brother, Yaakov. He's still at it. Okay. We have pushkas on every table, yeah? Today I remember. Okay, we got here. No, we don't count people, we count coins. Pass these back, 3 to the back table. Thank you. 1, 3. So what's the difference? What was accomplished by giving the Torah at Mount Sinai if they already kept the Torah? And the answer is, can anybody take a guess? What would be the difference? They're doing the same thing. Oh, so it says about Yaakov. When Yaakov whittled the sticks, what does that have to do with keeping the Torah? It says what Yaakov did when he whittled the sticks was the same as what we do when we put on tefillin. The patterns that he made on the sticks were the same patterns that we make when we we wrap the tefillin. We'll discuss that later, what the L stands for. But the point is, it's Torah. So if they kept Torah before it was given at Mount Sinai, why did it have to be given at Mount Sinai? Yeshivacation.
I feel like it was an exception of an obligation rather than just a tradition.
Absolutely right. That is the point. That there's no comparison between someone who does a thing because he thinks it's a good idea and someone who does a thing because it's his service. It's what's expected of him. He's committed that he's going to do it. A soldier on his post. There's a difference between doing a good thing and following orders. And following orders has a higher level to it, which is attachment to the giver of the orders. A soldier who follows orders may not understand what he's doing. He trusts the general who gives him the orders that he knows what he's doing. And that makes a connection between them. That the one who gives the orders has to care about the soldier, and the soldier has to fulfill his duties even if he doesn't understand them. I don't know if I told you this story. It could be told. Please forgive me. I tend to repeat things because a good story doesn't lose its taste. Like something delicious. The second bite is also delicious. So I met a soldier who had returned from Iraq. I didn't particularly meet him. I went to a Shabbaton in Montreal, and he was a guest speaker at that Shabbaton. He was visiting someone in that young Montreal community, and they asked him to speak. And he spoke about his experiences in the American Army in Iraq. He was wounded. He was very badly wounded when a landmine went off under his Jeep. And someone asked him, do you ever stop to question if the whole war was a good thing or not? He said, no. In the Army, you don't do that. Because if you stop to ask questions, you endanger your life, and you endanger the life of your whole regiment, and maybe you endanger the whole war. You just don't do it. And it was very insightful because that's very much the idea of keeping Torah and mitzvahs. Now, we don't do it blindly. It's not dogma. There's tremendous amounts to be learned in every mitzvah. But there's a deeper level as well, that it connects us to other Jewish people. This is our army. Try saying that 10 times fast. And it connects us to the source of our commandments, which is in every generation, Moshe Rabbeinu, and the teachers and the prophets and the sages throughout the ages who clarify the halacha, and it's all one thing. Now we're going to get to that. That's the next thing that we have to talk about. So let's get the sheet out. Where is our sheet? Here it is. This is a preface to the Tanya written by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Do I have an extra one for you, Tova? Let's see. Yes. Give us the Tova, please. So we learned Hasidus in general, that refers to the Baal Shem Tov, the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov. Who remembers? What was the Baal Shem Tov's goal? What was he trying to do? He was trying to awaken the emunah, the latent emunah in the heart of every Jew. And this was revolutionary because there was a very strong class division in those days between the educated scholars, scholarly people, and the simple people who never had an education. They just worked hard, but they trusted and believed in God, but they just didn't know much. And so the Baal Shem Tov, who was a huge, unbelievable scholar, would go around just saying, "How you doing today, everybody? How you doing?" He said, "Baruch Hashem," because that Baruch Hashem was said with sincerity, was said heartfelt, with heartfelt feeling. Thank God. I thank God every day. And that reminds us of the son of Adam Harishon, who was a shoemaker. It says he used to praise Hashem with every stitch. Or like, as I mentioned a few times, my wife's grandmother, who lived to be 104, 105, she didn't say a sentence without Hashem's name in it. This is the deep belief, natural belief implanted in the hearts of every Jewish person. And the Baal Shem Tov and his students would go around teaching this. The approach of the Alter Rebbe, who's born on the same day, 47 years later. So the Baal Shem Tov was 47 on his 47th birthday. The Alter Rebbe was born. Chapter 47, by the way, in Psalms is a very special psalm. We say it before shofar blowing 7 times because it has 7 mentions of the name of God. And then immediately before blowing the shofar, we say that chapter 47. So Baal Shem Tov's 47th birthday, the Alter Rebbe was born, and he introduced a new level of this whole approach of how to awaken the spark of God in the heart of a Jew, and that was an intellectual approach. Using Chabad, Chochmah, Bina, Das, the 3 aspects of our intellect, which are wisdom on the right side of the brain, understanding in the left side of the brain, knowledge in the back, which brings your thoughts and understanding down into our heart. That's the passageway from the brain to the heart. So that's what it says, Chabad Hasidus. So we have Hasidus in general as the Baal Shem Tov, to awaken the belief in God in every heart of every Jew, and Chabad Hasidus, which is to do this, to enhance this belief through knowledge, through learning. Example, simple example, the Rebbe took this to the level, he sends out shluchim all over. There's going to be a kinnis of shluchim here in another month and a half, 2 months, and we'll have here maybe 7,000 shluchim, and probably maybe more, and certainly hundreds of young people whose goal in life is that they should also find a niche where they can carry out this shlichus and help the people in their community to become connected with their roots. Okay? And the Rebbe brings this down to the ladies. When he speaks to the ladies, this is a revolutionary thing. We don't find that Rebbeim used to gather ladies and speak to them and teach them, which the Rebbe does on every special occasion. And even to children, to levels of children, How did he do that? The Rebbe would forbring, people couldn't understand this. The Rebbe would forbring many times in the year just to children. And you see the videos, the children are talking and playing and hardly listening. But I guess the Rebbe feels that their neshama hears. And he taught the children 12 psukim. And these 12 psukim are very important, girls. I'll try to get a hold of the little booklets and give them to all of you. And I want to tell you something. The little booklet for 12 psukim is written with summaries, brief summaries of what the Rebbe said about each of these Torah passages. If you have a question you can't resolve, I'm telling you from experience, if you have a difficult question and you don't have who to ask, learn these 12 psukim. Before you get to the end, you'll have your answer. I'm not the only person who's found this to be true. Naomi,
Yes.
you with us?
Yes.
It's a terrible death to be talked to death. So forgive me for waking. I know exactly how you feel. If you were talking and I was listening, I'd probably also know. Now let's go on. Now let's finish this thought. What is Hasidus in general, and what is Chabad Hasidus in particular? An all-embracing world outlook. That's very, very important. Every word is important. The Rebbe is very, very precise. It's all-embracing. That means that in Hasidus you're going to find everything. You know, it says everything is in the Torah. Yeah, but go find it. Who knows where to look? Well, Hasidus has everything in it. And it's a very unique view of life that unifies, this is the point, it brings together in this all-embracing view of life, outlook, all-embracing outlook, bringing together the creator and the creation when we do a mitzvah. So you have three things. You have yourself, one. Two, you have the thing that you're doing, which is the mitzvah. And you have Hashem, who is the creator of the mitzvah. He's the choreographer. So when you go to a ballet and you watch a dance performance, what are you looking at? You're looking at the dancer. Some people go to a ballet to see the dancer. In my misspent youth, I saw some of the great ballet dancers of the world. Rudolf Nureyev, Fontaine. He came with the Russian ballet to tour in Britain, Nureyev. And he was a leaper. He could do fantastic leaps. And he just leaped over the barriers. And he fled into Britain and sought asylum to escape from communist Russia. And she had retired from ballet, and he rejuvenated her, and they danced. So you go to see the dancer, but you're seeing the dance also. The dance has a creator. So you're seeing the idea of the creator and the dancer and the dance all in one thing. So it's a triple-fold unification. So that's what Hasidus is. It's a unification between the creator and the creation through our doing the commandments. Now, another point I'll bring in here is that we know, we embrace the idea that Hashem has no physical form. There's no image in this week's Parsha. It's all about not entertaining an image of God. That's idol worship. So what is the divine image of God? The divine image of God is a composite of commandments. Put all the commandments together, this is the divine image of God. By doing them, you become united with that image, and it becomes your image. So if a person is spending his whole day doing commandments, following instructions, that are passed down to us from Mount Sinai, then you become the thing that you're doing. Okay, we're gonna have to stop here because that's the end. But we did a few lines. This is Tanya. I told you we'd start Tanya. This is it. This is the introduction to the Tanya by the Rebbe. We'll continue tomorrow, Bezos Hashem. Thank you all for coming. If you have questions, write them down and bring them. We'll start with your questions. If anybody wants to get on the email list, I didn't have a chance to put in the names last week, but I did it after the email went out. If you want to get a weekly email on a simple level, like the Rebbe, things that the Rebbe said to children, or on a deeper level, sometimes the children's level is better. Just give me your email address. We'll take care of that. Set a bracha downstairs. Thank you. Naomi, thank you.
It was actually Shirley. He was both of us.
Okay.
He opened. He got hurt.
I want to say a blessing in a siddur. This is a tip number 2. Tip number 1, Tova, by the way, the girls and other girls will tell you. Tip number 1 is to look up before coming to class, see what's going on in the heavens above. Tip number 2 was don't put your keys down ever, anywhere. Tip number 3 is after you have something to eat, don't get up and do things without first saying a blessing. If you don't have a siddur available, they have these things on the phone now. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'chasrinan al kol ma shebarasat achayis b'hem nefesh kol chai baruch chai chayim. Once a boy from Israel asked me, did you ever see the Rebbe? What did you learn from him? I said, well, it's very hard to learn from the Rebbe's talks. You have to study them afterwards. But one thing I learned from the Rebbe, from seeing him, was he never, when he had something to eat, he never got up without saying a blessing in a siddur. I saw this hundreds of times without taking it to heart. Really, when you see a holy person do something, a tzaddik, a sage, and you just see him do something good, it's an instruction that we should follow. Okay, thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Pleasure's entirely mine. More than I learned from my teachers, I learned from my students. Have a wonderful day. Look, we have another beautiful day. I hope Hashem will bless everyone.
Have a good day. Yeah.
Keep on going.
One, yeah. Hello? Дорогой стол, вы, конечно, нашу команду. Всегда. Антон и Антон. Laura, that if stay here in this table, she can go back to this table because we have a trip and you have a trip. And so if she stay here, you have in the yard. She can go to our trip. So I don't think he's crying. She told, thinking, oh my God, Baruch Hashem, Ali Mayan. What person? Да, все сразу что-то. У нас было 4 часа утра, чтобы пойти на спорт.
Знаешь, я на второй смысле света, я это слышу. Да, я наложить на стол.
Я просто не забавно, я тут просто.
Я в каком-то плане сейчас, в каком-то плане
Ethan, tomorrow I go to school.
Yeah.
And you come here.
Rivka, do you want to go to the gym in the afternoon, today or tomorrow?
Maybe.
We're very tired, let me know.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
But let's go, but like,
No,
not in the morning.
no, that's where official walk was.
No, I heard, I was like, comment.
Mhm.